Imagine this. It's 2020, and we're in the middle of one of the most contentious elections in history. Misinformation is at an all-time high from various sources. But in Estonia, a tiny nation with a big vision, votes are being tallied in a secure and verifiable format using the power of artificial intelligence technology. We're going to go over 4 sections about how AI can revolutionize our political system in the United States and globally, creating a future where elections are foolproof, policies are data-driven, and truths triumph over deception. The 4 sections are the application of AI in elections and the challenges and solutions that can present. The second is how artificial intelligence can help us overcome our human, cognitive, and social biases that sway and influence our decisions. Third, we'll be talking about how artificial intelligence can protect or enhance defense from external and internal actors. Finally, we'll brief on a long-term vision around building ground truth for people to make decisions from using artificial intelligence in politics. Before we jump in, as an American citizen, it is a wonder that we haven't taken more steps towards adopting artificial intelligence and other such technologies that can preserve the truth and the effectiveness of our elections, inspiring voter confidence and ensuring that our decisions are being made from a place that we know is the will of the people. Throughout this video, you'll see different stories of nations all over the world that have implemented AI and other advanced technologies to improve their elections. The goal is that by increasing awareness for what these technologies are and how they can be utilized, we can spur conversations that will lead to positive changes for our political environment and for the hope of a democratic future. Let's talk about how artificial intelligence can validate voter identities. As I shared in the intro, Estonia has been using this technology using facial recognition and other forms of document verification since 2005 to inspire hope and confidence in their elections. It's no secret that the people that feel confident that their vote will count and matter are more inspired and likely to take action towards voting for what matters to them. Implementing similar technologies in the United States can improve voting integrity and boost confidence that our democratic process is being upheld and respected. Another way that artificial intelligence can help us in our elections is by using algorithms to protect against misinformation and anomalies in voting patterns. In 2020, these technologies were applied across social media platforms to ensure that content that was being promoted and shared was of a true nature, fact-checking, and ideally aiming to remove anyone that has used Facebook or any other technology like Twitter or Instagram has definitely seen the rise of bots. To me, is cause for alarm considering that we don't verify the users of these technologies. And that's exactly one of the ways that artificial intelligence can also help to ensure that engagement is real and that information that's being shared isn't from a questionable source. How that will play out in our coming election is yet to be determined, but it is critically important. With AI, it will be possible to tally votes in real time. One of the biggest steps would be creating a system in which these votes would be completely digitized, and therefore it would remove some of the ugly things that we're seeing across the board on both sides when it comes to the fairness and accuracy of elections. A real-time voting process using something with artificial intelligence monitoring ensures that every vote is counted promptly and accurately. Finally, one of the ways that artificial intelligence can help is by helping people to become better voters. It's no secret that there are significant portions of the population, for this reason or another, that do not get out and vote. Maybe it has to do with low voter confidence, not being sure that their votes are going to matter in the grand scheme of things. But ultimately, that is a mindset that holds people back. Because imagine if 10 million people hold that mindset, those are 10 million votes. It's not exactly in the individual, it is in the aggregate. And through that, the individual. So if artificial intelligence could be used to remind people and send them notifications, or as I already mentioned, using a digitized system where voters' identities are verified and made certain to be accurate and falling under the laws and regulations that govern our elections, that would be a massive improvement to our democratic process. But it's not all just about technology. The other technology that is utilized and is central to our elections is the oldest form of technology that exists for the human animal, and that is our brains. It's no secret that our brains are subject to cognitive biases. These are biases such as confirmation bias, meaning that if you read content on Instagram or Facebook, Twitter, or anywhere, you will judge it through the lens of what you already believe to be true. Artificial intelligence algorithms can help us overcome those biases. Artificial intelligence algorithms like those utilized in Google News, which opt to share information from a variety of sources. Andrew Bustamante, a former CIA agent who now has a business bringing CIA techniques to the masses, gave one critical hint in a podcast that I watched, which he was on. And that is, we should aim to read content from a variety of sources. That includes political alternates such as China or Russia or European news, Latin American news, Canadian news, news from the Indo-Pacific. When we do that, we're able to have a broad base of truths to weigh and find where the similarities are. When we do that, we can become objectively rational and start to see that there are things which are beyond our everyday understanding, which are believed or thought to be completely normal in other areas of the world. By overcoming those biases, we can make more rational and effective decisions when it comes to the future of our country and others. One benefit of a platform like Twitter is that the information is published in real time and is based on a broad variety of subjects and sources. I use that regularly. It's our ability to find fact and weigh objective benefit and risk and loss potential based on those decisions and decide based on that information what is the right vote and the right decision. So when we break out of those echo chambers and listen to people from all sides of the ballot, we gain a more rational and effective understanding. That is the foundation of a strong democracy. And also, to take it a step further, disagreement in and of itself is the foundation of a strong democracy. Both can lead to a more unified society in this paradox that is how our mind seeks truth. In 2012, Barack Obama utilized artificial intelligence to target and understand the goals and desires of different voter segments. And that technology allowed them to personalize content based on what mattered to those voters in respect to what Obama was presenting as an option and a path for the future. Looking forward, this sort of application and technology could be utilized to gain a wider understanding and in real time of what the people want, leading to more effective policymaking and perhaps higher approval ratings across the board for all politicians. When they opt to vie for their voters and determine what is truly the will of the people, that can be a very positive effect on the way our democratic Western society functions. As we're on the subject of cognitive biases, isn't it interesting how bots and misinformation could sway our thinking, leading us to believe things or take sides in matters in which the information relied upon to make that decision was utterly false. Artificial intelligence can also protect us from the manipulation of our cognitive biases when used correctly. By ensuring that only genuine and authentic voices of voters are heard in our elections and during our decision-making processes, we can ensure a more effective and positive future based on the will of the people. Now we're going to talk about external and internal actors and how artificial intelligence can protect us from such influences that could corrupt the integrity of our elections. Protecting from external threats using artificial intelligence-based cybersecurity systems. When attacks on voter systems or social networks or anywhere where public opinion and fact can be misguided or influenced, artificial intelligence can be utilized to monitor those networks and combat such negative influence from external actors. These sort of measures were utilized in the 2020 elections, and still there of course were worries of misinfluence that came from foreign actors. So as we move into 2024 and future elections, it would be wise to create a system which is impenetrable, or in absence of naivety, verifiable and driven by real voters only. Now, looking beyond elections and how artificial intelligence can influence our political system is the streamlining and making more effective of government processes. Now, one positive note is that under President Biden and with the recent explosion of artificial intelligence, billions of dollars have been allocated to artificial intelligence technologies to improve our government operations across a variety of RFPs, covering everything from voting and elections to everyday decision making. This inspires great hope in the allocation of our tax funds and the effectiveness and honesty of our elected officials. As we move into honesty and transparency, artificial intelligence systems based off of open access to valuable data can help to enforce transparency and follow through when it comes to decision-making politicians following through with what they said they were going to do. Referencing back to how artificial intelligence can improve our government effectiveness and efficiency, applications such as chatbots or other means could be utilized to improve confidence among voters and the constituents of our elected officials. One of the greatest drivers of artificial intelligence value is that which is reaped through productivity gains. The government employee every day is overburdened and underpaid, but utilizing artificial intelligence technology could fulfill the promise that artificial intelligence brings in the first place, and that's the ability to free us up to do more critical and valuable things, whatever those might be. Now, as we look to the future, places such as Estonia and Switzerland have been a hallmark of advanced elections, government efficiency, and transparency. For example, artificial intelligence and blockchain technology can be utilized to ensure a transparent and secure and verifiable election or even referendum process. In Switzerland, such technologies have already been utilized to give every voter a voice and make sure that voice is part of the voting constituency. Furthermore, these actions have increased voter turnout, something that is vital to ensuring the will of the people is enacted through our political system. Anybody who has used ChatGPT knows this for certain, that it can make you more effective. Now imagine you are reading through 100 or 600 page policy action and you have a limited window of time. Using artificial intelligence technology can not only help with that process, but ensure that follow through is met and that the proper laws and actions are passed as the result of the intended legislation or change. When it comes to the risks that these technologies can present to the democratic process, we can also look to ethical frameworks that need to be put in place to make sure that they are used fairly, equally, and appropriately. As we go beyond into this more technologically driven future, far beyond what anybody who initially wrote the Constitution could likely ever imagine, it is a balancing act of us maintaining the root integrity of that document and the intention of our founding fathers and the will of the people that is advanced over the previous hundreds of years that the United States has been around, by ensuring that our elections, our processes, and our policies are backed by ethical, appropriate, and diverse perspectives which lead to that continued positivity in favor of the democratic process. Following with that theme, one of the critical drivers of effective decision making is access to the right information. Being able to take in information from a variety of sources is critical to objective thinking and weighing those data points rationally and without bias. So therefore, artificial intelligence could help with fulfilling this opportunity by giving access to more people the vital information that can be utilized to help make the proper decisions. As we see what is going on in our world today, I am reminded of a book that came out a few years ago called The Architecture of a Techno-Democracy. AI, blockchain, and other leading technologies could be utilized to solve some of the critical and burdening challenges that we're seeing today in our government and Western society, and also beyond, all over the world. No matter what type of government exists, that people are being properly represented and given the chance to matter is a critical aspect of our hope for the future. Ultimately, the goal is to safeguard truth and give people the right information that they can make objective decisions from without bias. That is the will that pervades the fabric of a productive society. By leveraging this technology, we can improve and enhance governmental systems globally. So, what do you think? What's your perspective on how artificial intelligence can help or hurt our democratic or any type of government processes? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure that you subscribe to see more content like this, specifically about how artificial intelligence is hitting every aspect of our lives. We'll talk about how the different futures that face us are in the control of our own hands, based on the decisions that we make, the way that we think, and the way that we engage and inspire and promote positivity and right action for all. If you found this video insightful, subscribe for more content on the intersection of technology, entrepreneurship, and society.